What up, ladies and gents? This is George Bean, and today, for my 40-second review, I've finally chosen a special movie I've wanted to review. That movie I'm talking about is actually about the 1983 miniseries V, which was written and directed by Kenneth Johnson, and was first aired as a two-night, two-part miniseries on the NBC network on May 1st and May 2nd of 1983. Of course, you may have already heard about me talking about this miniseries V in my review for the Twilight Zone episode To Serve Man, which was one of many inspirations for this miniseries. The plot involves an extraterrestrial race known as the Visitors arriving on Earth in a fleet of 50 huge saucer-shaped spaceships, which hover over major cities across the globe. They make first contact with mankind, appearing human but requires special glasses to protect their eyes and having a distinctive resonance to their voices. These aliens, again referred to as the Visitors, reach out in peace, seeking the help of humans to obtain chemicals and minerals needed to aid their alien world, which orbits the star Sirius. And in return, the Visitors promise to share their advanced technology with humanity. All Earth governments accept the arrangement, and the Visitors, commanded by their leader John and his deputy Diana, begin to gain considerable influence with human authorities. However, strange things begin to occur, and scientists then fall under increasing media hostility, to the point of experiencing government restrictions on their activities and movements. Others, particularly those keen on examining the Visitors more closely, begin to disappear or begin to either be discredited or worse, disappear. But then, a television journalist cameraman decides to covertly board one of the Visitors' motherships and discover some more sinister side of the Visitors. This makes him a fugitive on the run. Meanwhile, more scientists continue to be persecuted, both to discredit them as a part of the human population most likely to discover the Visitors' secrets, and to distract the rest of the population with a scapegoat to whom they could attribute their fears. Thus, a human resistance movement, led by the discredited scientist Julie Parrish, is founded to combat the oppressing Visitor control over Earth, and to uncover the Visitors' true ulterior plots for Earth. Now, what I'm about to say, about to go into big spoiler here, so of course if you haven't seen which you should, and you do not want to know what the big surprise is, turn off this video, go buy the miniseries, get it on Amazon, go to your local video store, find it, go buy it and watch it. You won't regret it. I'll give you time. 7 seconds. Okay, here it goes. It turns out the Visitors are actually reptilian in appearance, and the humanoid appearance is just latex masked over them. So the other thing is, why exactly are they here? Well, it turns out that the Visitors have been sent by their leader, and no, seriously, that's what they call their leader, our great leader, for a much ulterior mission. Their homeworld is experiencing a major water shortage, and so they intend to steal all of the Earth's water, which will eventually leave the Earth a barren wasteland. And it's also revealed that the Visitors are slowly harvesting humans, kept in suspended animation, to be shipped back to their homeworld, because they're experiencing another shortage. Food. Yes, you heard that right. These alien Nazis intend to use humans as food. Not only that, but they also plan to use the humans as slaves and cannon fodder for their own wars against other alien races. With that said, the Visitors can easily be compared to the Nazi Party. They wear military uniforms, their goal was to conquer all of Europe, which meant to them the mass extermination of anyone they considered inferior to them. the scientists being bullied by the visitors is comparable to the Jews in a way. And even the villainous character Diana, played by Jane Battler, was based on real-life Nazi physician Dr. Joseph Mengele, whom I will stop myself from talking more about. It'd be best if you look him up for yourself. Best for me not to talk about him. But one thing, how he died, the guy, I'm glad he died the most horrifying way possible. Now I'm done. Okay. I will say that Kenneth Johnson, he was influenced, his main influence for this miniseries was what was his name? Sinclair novel from the 1930s called It Can't Happen Here, which was about a rising totalitarian dictatorship rising in America. So, the book It Can't Happen Here was a big influence on this V miniseries. He intended, when he pitched the miniseries to them, he did not have the science fiction elements in it. It was intended to be more of a straightforward political thriller when he was pitching it to NBC, but they rejected it because it was too cerebral, and with Star Wars just having come out, they wanted something more science fiction-y. So Kenneth Johnson decided to add in the man-eating aliens, to make it more science fiction-y, which resulted in this. And his pitch with the new science fiction element was enough to impress them, and so they greenlit the miniseries. He was also influenced by the Twilight Zone episode The Served Man, which I mentioned earlier. I will say that this miniseries has an amazing cast in it. I don't want to delve into them all, but suffice to say that they are all really good. They do their best with the material they are given. The most memorable of them all is Jane Battler as the visitor commandant Diana, who is like this seductive overlord type who is willing to manipulate anyone to get what she wants. She is essentially the Darth Vader of this V franchise. She is there to oversee the entire armada, but also answers to a higher power, that being their great leader. Since this miniseries was a hit, of course NBC wanted a sequel, and so Kenneth Johnson conceived a story for the sequel along with 5 other writers, of which would become the 3-part miniseries V: The Final Battle, which was not directed by Johnson, but was instead directed by Richard T. Hevman. And also, the entire cast returns from the first miniseries, along with newcomers such as Michael Ironside and even Sarah Douglas, whom you may definitely remember as Ursa in Superman Returns. There she is. But apparently, while making the sequel, Johnson ended up parting ways with NBC over creative differences regarding the content of the miniseries sequel. Like its predecessor, upon its TV premiere the following May in 1984, V: The Final Battle was a hit on NBC, and even beated ABC's miniseries The Last Day of Pompeii, which aired on the same days as Final Battle. After that, and even though Final Battle ended with the visitors having been defeated and left Earth, NBC ordered for more of it, ordered for turning V into a television series, which aired over 5 months after Final Battle. Of course, the series received a mixed reception, and it only lasted for 19 episodes until NBC canceled the series, made even worse by the fact that the last episode ended on a cliffhanger. Come 20 years later, and Kenneth Johnson pitched to NBC his idea for an alternate V sequel miniseries, but not the sequel to Final Battle nor the television series, but an alternate sequel to the 1983 original, which he titled V: The Second Generation. His idea was to set it 20 years after the first miniseries, with Earth still under visitor occupation, looking more like 1940s Nazi-occupied France, and with almost all of the Earth's water taken. under the false pretense that the visitors are plotting to take the water to cleanse it, and promises to return it. It was to feature the resistance, still led by a more war-torn Julia, fighting an apparently losing battle against the visitors, and they know that they will need a miracle. I don't want to give too much away, but to say, when Johnson pitched this idea to NBC said that they were going to instead to make a complete remake rather than a sequel, with the creator of the USA sci-fi series The 4400 developing the story, which of course was the 2009 reboot series in 2009, which I saw, but I never got past the pilot. As a result, Johnson decided to turn his script into book form, which you can find on maybe an Amazon or a local store. This was a really good read. I like this more than the Final Battle and television series. This has, like, a very conclusive ending to the original mini-series. Give it a check out. Go read it. Give it a shot if you're a fan of this mini-series. But for the special effects in this mini-series, the effects are pretty good for its time. Keep in mind that this was made specifically for television, so we shouldn't expect a really big Star Wars level budget for it. But they're okay. I do like the use of scale models for the spaceships and alien fighter crafts. The alien fighter crafts look really cool. I even made one of my own, which isn't much out of folk art, but it gives you an idea of what it looks like. And the symbol on the front kind of looks like the Nazi swastika, but more alien-like. Thus implying more of the Nazi allegory in it. So anyway, in terms of my overall score, I'd have to give the miniseries at least 7 stars out of 10, because it is still a spectacular science fiction, sci-fi conspiracy thriller. It shows what could quite possibly happen if we come in contact with a highly advanced extraterrestrial race who might actually be hostile. Even Stephen Hopkins once stated that first contact may not turn out for the better for us humans. It could possibly be like what happened when Christopher Columbus first landed in the Americas. And as we all know, that did not turn out well for the Native Americans. The scariest thing about this film is that it could still potentially happen for real. The idea of martial law being implemented, us having to live life in complete fear with an endless legion of armed soldiers patrolling the streets looking for rebels or anyone who dares to oppose their rule. It's a scary thought to think of, huh? But still, if you are a fan of both science fiction, specifically ones involving alien invasions, and the conspiracy genres, then this miniseries might be a good choice for you. Keep in mind, it is over 3 hours long, but then this might be but if you haven't got much to do for the day or evening and want to kill a few hours, then this might be worth it. So I'd recommend giving it a check out. And if you would like to know what Kenneth Johnson's second generation plans were, go out and get the second generation book. It is honestly a really good read to sit through. So thank you for watching, ladies and gents. Sorry for the delay. January hasn't been very kind on me and my family, but that doesn't mean I am going to stop doing this anytime soon. So once again, thank you all. Until then, I'll see y'all next time. Peace!